Myself Sohail Nadaf and with my friends Prathamesh Duman. Today we design the simulation of full adder. Now, what is the full adder? Full adder it gets the three inputs and two outputs. Okay, so for that the VHDL language is created, and the VHDL language is execute in the Xilinx software. Xilinx it is the software which is developed by company for executing the VHDL programs. This is the version of 9.2. We are using this software at that time. So now start. So first upon when we start the window of the VHDL software, the Xilinx software, then first go to the file and get, if you have already the project, then click on the open projects, then the window is open. Okay, if you are not the project, then create the new project. Okay, then create the then project name whatever you want to give. So I will give the full fu. So then this is the directory. This is the directory. You can this software is get by default. If you want to change, then go to the click on that and select the locations and okay. So we are not changing because I already my location is set, so I cancel this and get the next. Then this is the getting the by default. This is the VHDL whirling. This is by default getting, but you not changing because this is by default. So in this tab the preferred language is VHDL because we are programming on the VHDL language, so the VHDL is compulsory to select it. Okay, then get the next and then get the new source. It is the create the new page for the inputting. Then select the VHDL model, then get the file name. I give full. Okay. Then get the next. Then this is the input part. So when you giving the inputs, then get the we are using the full adder, so get the three inputs. First is I have given A, this is the input. I also give B, this is also input, and this is give C. So that this is the input part, so it is by default is input. When you are giving the output, then in the full adder there are two output. First is the sum which is the output part, and second is the carry is also output part. So in that pattern I have not told, this is the in-out. It is used to when the gate is connected to input as well as getting the output, so the in-out part is selected, but we are not selected because the carry is getting only the output. Okay, so that we are getting the outputs and click to the on next page, and this is getting the your input files and get the finish, click yes. Then this is the created of the file, your VHDL source file. So finish, next, finish. Okay, so after clicking the finish button, this tab is open. Now I have told you this is the drag and drop software, so that if you getting the inputs, then the by default this software getting the coding parts. By default some part of coding is getting by default in background side. Now this is the entity, this is our keyword which is getting the full. Okay, then in that entity we are getting the three inputs in the previous section. It is A, B and C. This is the input part. Okay, and the sum there. So the port is as like as your input pins. Okay, their input pins is A, B and C. Okay, and the sum and carry is our output pin. Whenever we are getting the input, the output will shown from this sum and this carry. Okay, and after that we are ending the so if you thinking how these are come, we are not selected, we are not created, and we are not coded, but we have tell you this is the input and output are come from in the previous section when we have getting the tab, this is getting the A, B, C out. So in that tab we are getting the three inputs and two outputs. Okay, after that end the entity. Okay, after that actual programming is started. Actual programming in created in the architecture. Okay, architecture is nothing but the class as like. Okay, then in that getting the behavior is the name of this architecture, and it is the as like as variable. You can give any variables and so on. Okay, but now we are giving the behavior. Okay, and of and it is the of and